So we now move to the feature race at 4:30 at UK time, the Derby in race 5. It is quite special this year because there is only one runner from the Ballydoyle. So Jamie, are you keen on Bolshoi Ballet, or what is your favorite and long shot in the Derby?
I understand why Bolshoi Ballet is the price he is. On all known form, he is a standout 3-year-old in this race. And I mean, I'm not overly keen to take him on, but also at the price, he'll be very short. And for me, I'd rather look elsewhere because there's just not quite enough form in the book to be taking what we've seen on Trust. We're taking everything on the one run where McSweeney, who blew out basically and behind him, has since come back and won. And if we take that literally, it looks like he's a world beater. But like I say, we know McSweeney wasn't right that day. And funnily enough, actually one of the ones who was in behind then, a horse called Southern Lights, got stopped in the run twice, only finished 6th. There's a lot more to come from him as a horse. And if there was a horse to take from that trial, it would be him for me. But he's not my selection. My selection is actually another Roger Varian horse after Prince Easy getting put up there by Chris. But is Third Realm, who won the Lingfield Derby trial in very, very comfortable style, but it wasn't a very good trial. I don't think the form in behind him is worth very much. However, the way he did it was really eye-catching. He handled coming down what's quite a steep hill at Lingfield, and he came wide round it as well, and it all bodes well for him handling Epsom, which is, as we've discussed, a very, very unique challenge for a young horse. So, and also, crucially, his time was very good. They ran 5 seconds quicker than the Oaks trial on the same card. So, although the form doesn't read very well, literally, it was very impressive. And he's my idea of the best horse at the prices for me. Although he does have to overcome a low draw in number 2, which historically is a very bad place to be for the Derby because you go right-handed before going left-handed. So you sort of get stuck on the outside before then being able to take your slot on the inside. So that's not ideal. However, that's predominantly a negative when there are a lot of runners in the field. And because, like you said, Shireen, there's only one Ballydoyle runner, it means there's actually only 12 total. So it somewhat minimises the negative impact of being drawn so low. So yeah, he's my pick at the prices, third round.
Okay, Steve, what are your pick? Any dark horse you like in the Derby?
Yes, I mean, anyone who follows my Twitter page knows I have an aversion to picking, even money shots, 10 to 11. And there's no great, if Bolshoi Ballet wins, all good and well, I'll be delighted for him. But there's no great satisfaction in saying I picked Bolshoi Ballet. And there's even less satisfaction if you pick an even money shot almost and he gets beat. That's even double trouble. So, I mean, he obviously has a good chance, but, there are unexposed horses in around. I mean, he's only won at Leopardstown, for instance. I mean, he's 3 from 5 and all at Leopardstown. I mean, I know there's mitigating factors. His other 2 defeats was over in France and also on debut, so that's perhaps understandable. But I just thought I'd go for Muhafeth. He's drawn in 4, which isn't too bad. He's unbeaten this season. And I thought, poignant win, Hamdan Al Maktoum, of course, and Jim Crowley on board, William Haggis. He's very much an X-factor horse, I think. You just don't quite know just how good he is. So that was the horse that I picked in preference to Bolshoi Ballet. But there's other ones there. Hurricane Lane's quite interesting. He's now won his last 3 from 3, and he always just seems to do enough. He's not flashy, but he does the job well, and he did the job well last time in chasing down to be the pacemaker when High Definition was 3rd. But, and as Jamie also says, Southern Lights is an interesting horse. He was stopped in his tracks behind Bolshoi Ballet. And when he won his maiden, the second Hell Bent won next time at Sligo, still a decent track. And the horse in the second, Prairie Dancer, he won his maiden at Roscommon with minimum fuss the next time. So 20 to 1, I think Southern Lights is an interesting horse. I mean, sentiment aside, I don't think that John Leaper has a chance, to be honest, even with Frankie Dettori on board. And, I don't know what sort of horse owner this makes me, but if I had Adam Kirby on, I'd stick with Adam Kirby. I know everyone say, I know most people say, look, you go for the top jockey, but maybe I'm just not a true horse racing person, but, you know, I'd rather just, you know, it's the Derby. The jockeys, I think Kirby's won loads of things. And in my humble opinion, I thought Khalifa Sat was given a better ride by Marquand last year than English King was by Frankie Dettori back in 5th. And one of these days, Frank, he's not getting any younger. One of these days, at the age of 74, whatever he is now, he's going to ride an absolute stinker. And some owner is going to wish, God, I wish we just picked the one we originally had. So anyway, I'll shut up now and simply say that I think Mohafeth with the outside it being Southern Lights.
Okay, how about you, Chris? Which horse do you like the most? Any value bets here in the Derby?
Yeah, I think Bolshoi Ballet is a terrible price. Having said that, the form actually has taken a boost tonight from his last run. Fernando Vici won a listed race at Leopardstown quite easily, but I'm not sure what the form's worth. Jamie hit it on the head earlier with McSweeney. He just wasn't right that day. And also as well, the ground conditions were nowhere near in his favour. McSweeney's just a proven mudlark. So I think you can forgive McSweeney that day. But yeah, all these people going, oh yeah, like Aidan O'Brien, he's only sent one for the Derby. I think they need their head examined. All the 3-year-old colts from Ballydoyle have been very disappointing this year. You look at Wembley, it was very disappointing in the Guineas. So is Battlegrounds. You look at Van Gogh as well. He was disappointing in the 2000 Guineas. Ran okay in the Irish 2000 Guineas, but I just think he had his conditions that day. I think he prefers a bit of cut in the ground. Yeah, it's a little bit. I don't know. I wouldn't take it that Bolshoi Ballet is a certainty, and arguably their best colt is St Mark's Basilica, who's going for the Prix de Jockey Club over in France, who obviously won the Dewhurst and then won the French Guineas. So he's being campaigned over there, and arguably he's their, you could say he's their best colt. Bolshoi Ballet for me is far too short. It stinks of a Saxon Warrior, in my opinion, from a couple of years ago. Favourites is not the way to go in the last few derbies as well. You have to go back to 2014 for the last winning favourite. You want to be looking at big prices, in my opinion. There's plenty of horses I think have got more to come. Obviously, we see loads of unexposed horses. We think they're going to be this. They've got lots more to come, but then they don't. So obviously there are going to be a few in here that have probably already reached their peaks. But the two that I quite liked, my number one horse is Youth Spirit. I can't believe he's 40-1 with some firms. I think he might be able to even possibly get bigger on the day on the Whirlpool, but I thought he was very impressive at Chester. I put him up that day on my YouTube channel. I was a little bit worried because he appeared to get boxed in at a crucial stage, but then the gap did open up, and when it did, he took the advantage there. Won quite cosily in the end under Tom Marquand, and they're more excited about the chances of Youth Spirit than they were about Khalifa Sat. They thought Khalifa Sat was more of a stayer, whereas they think Youth Spirit's got a little bit more pace, which you probably need to win a derby. Khalifa Sat just last year when he finished second, stamina got him through that. Obviously, it was a crazy race with Serpentine going on to make all the horses that were handy in that race were the 1, 2, 3. So again, I think you're going to be wanting to be on the front end here or not too far back. And Youth Spirit, I think he's a horse that I think got a lot of untapped potential over these middle distances. He's running over 7 furlongs a mile as a juvenile and always doing his best work late on. Same again when he ran at Newmarket on a seasonal reappearance, caught the eye there. Like I said, he built on it at Chester. And also as well, Chester's trial has not been a bad way to go in recent years. Similar as well with the twist and the turns. So he's got an experience of that kind of element of Epsom, if you like. Obviously, he needs to prove it and needs to come forward again. But I think with extra places on the day, possibly, I think he's guaranteed to run a good race. And Hurricane Lane, who won the Dante, was the other one I liked. I thought his performance beating McGallen was a good run. McGallen goes, I believe, to the Prix de Jockey Club on Sunday, and the way he was able to show the speed against McGallen, who I don't think he'll get further than 10 furlongs, but to beat a horse that's got a good turn of foot, I think really said a lot about him that day. He also as well, he beat Maximal, Tasman Bay, who both ran okay since in a conditions race at Newbury's, undefeated. I think he could be maybe the Massa from a couple of years ago, you know, in the sense that he's a Godolphin horse. Charlie Appleby ran good races, but was maybe overlooked by a few pundits on the day. I think for me, they would be my two against Bolshoi Ballet, but my number one preference would be You Spirit. I think he's a huge price, and I think he's got the speed, and I think he'll cope with Epsom no problem.
And we just talked about 3 races at Epsom on Saturday, and among all the 7 races, what is your NAP and value bet for the meeting, Jamie?
So slightly caught me on the hop there. I wasn't quite ready for all the other races as well. I mean, one horse I would give a shout out for in another race is King Frankel at 2 o'clock, who could prove to be a group horse running in a handicap. He was second in the London Gold Cup. That was a very good run. He's short enough in the betting, but he's certainly the other horse on the card that I'm very interested in. But I think my best bet today has got to be in the Derby, and it's got to be 3rd round.
Okay, and Steve, what is your NAP and best bet, value bet for the meeting?
I'll probably stick with my NAP or the value bet. Probably Copper Night actually, because I just love sprints. So looking forward to see the dash at T45, and probably for the best bet, maybe Lexington Dash. Funnily enough, in the 550 at Epsom, although it'd be fitting if he wasn't in the dash, but probably doesn't have the pace for that because he's more of a 6 furlong horse, and this is 6 furlongs. Richard Hannon, John Marquand from stall 8. So Lexington Dash for me in the last. Keep the dream alive for as long as possible. Wait till the last race.
Okay, how about you, Chris? Your NAP and value bet?
Yeah, interesting that Jamie mentioned King Frankel. He was my idea of my NAP, but kind of just warmed off him. Obviously, his run last time out in the London Gold Cup was an exceptional piece of form, meeting Bay Bridge, who obviously looks like he could go on to bigger and better things. Was raised £6 for that 2nd place, but it's historically been a fantastic handicap down the years. I think Defoe won it. I think Hedman's won it. Some proper group class performers in recent years, you know. So it's normally a handicap to follow for the next couple of months. My one worry would be there's a horse in there called Patient Dream, who won when making all Epsom last time out. That form's rock solid. I think the 2nd, 3rd and 4th have all won since. So at the prices, I think that's around about 9-2. I would be slightly concerned if I took that short price now about King Frankel. He would be the main danger. So I've kind of gone away from that as I've looked more into the form, but King Frankel, I think, has a great chance of going very close. My NAP actually probably would be Ornate. I think he's, like I said, I think this has been the plan. He's well treated on a lot of his old form. He's got not a bad draw as well. I think he could just be too quick for them, and I think he'll be able to dash home. And as my value bet, Youth Spirit for the Derby, I think 40-1. I think that's a bonkers price. I really think he's got a really good chance of going very close, and I think he can beat Bolshoi Ballet. I really do. So yeah, he would be my value bet for the Derby.
After hearing Chris speak there, I think I'm going to change my NAP to the King Frankel and Patient Dream Quinella. I think that's absolutely nailed on. It's a certainty, lads. So yeah, with value bet then 3rd round.
Okay, that's great. Thank you all of you. It is such a pleasure today. Let's hope we can provide some fruitful winners to punters. And I hope we can continue next time in the World Escort Week. Good luck on Saturday. Bye-bye.